Afternoon, welcome to the Derby debrief from RamsTV. Owen Bradley with former Derby captain Sean Barker alongside. Hope you're having a great Christmas so far. You're here for some reaction to Derby County's draw at Birmingham City this lunchtime. Plenty of incident in this one at St Andrews. And Derby took the lead midway through the first half through a fine goal from Patrick Agyemang, his third in his last two away games. But Joe Ward was sent off, shown a second yellow card 5 minutes before the break. And in the second half, Birmingham got their equaliser through Jack Robinson and then saw their captain, Christophe Clara, sent off at the end too. You'll get some reaction from head coach John Eustace shortly. We start, as always, with a word or two from Barks. Is that a good point today, Sean Barker?
Yes, I think so. It was a well-fought game. Obviously, as soon as you go down to 10 men, you fear the worst. The fact that they got that Patrick Agyemang goal meant that they got something to hang on to. But it would have been an interesting game, 11v11, because Birmingham built particularly well, got into the final third really well and looked a threat without really causing that last little bit of detail and any problems for Derby. On the counter transition, Derby looked a real threat, which is obviously where Pat got his goal. As soon as it went down to 10 and Ward was sent off, you knew the complexity would be slightly different. But saying that, if you look at the open play chances Birmingham created, there were very few in that second 45 minutes. So from an outside perspective, going to St Andrews, getting a point, being down to 10 men for long spells, absolutely be delighted with the point. But saying it, I think John will be a little disappointed because of the manner of how they conceded and how very few chances Birmingham created. So you come away, you praise the character, you praise the resilience, you're happy with the point, but it could have been more. Well,
let's find out what John Eustace thinks about it. Here's the Derby head coach.
I'm disappointed we didn't win the game. You know, I felt really comfortable even down with 10 men. I thought the effort of the group was amazing. You know, the fans, I was really proud of the fans. They stuck with the team and got them through some really difficult moments. But we really limited a really good team to next to nothing. I think they hit the crossbar in the last couple of minutes from a long distance header. But apart from that and the first effort of the game, you know, I didn't really feel threatened at all. So I'm disappointed that we didn't get all 3 points, but very, very proud of the effort today.
What does this sort of performance say about this group and the culture that's been built during your time here? I think it's just a continuation of all the good work that everyone's doing. You know, the team spirit, the work ethic. You know, the way the lads train every day in training. Whoever comes in, you know, you can see they're ready. They're match ready. You know, Nels coming on at half time was excellent. Danny Bath coming in without a start for a while was top drawer as well. You know, Abu Adam's been poorly all week. He hasn't been able to train properly. So the effort he put in that second half was outstanding. But you know, it's what we expect. It's what we drive every day with the training that we do and the culture that we bring to the football club. So, you know, it's a good point. But you know, I am disappointed it's not 3. Patrick Agyemang scored again. I think it's his 6th goal in 4 games. How pleased are you with the connection that's building between the whole front 3, not necessarily just him?
Yeah, listen, it's a group effort. You know, I'm absolutely delighted. Patrick's really finding his feet now in the Championship. You know, the connection between him, Berrington and Rian is certainly something that is exciting. We've had to find a different way to play and to build now. You know, we're missing obviously arguably the best striker in the league in Carlton, so we've had to adapt, we've had to adjust. There's still a long way to go for sure, but I'm really pleased that there's a connection there with them front players.
How frustrating is the goal that you conceded from the fact that it could have been handball?
I think it was handball, yeah, but I think we've also got to get the setup right from our free kick. It probably wasn't quite right, and you know, to concede when it's, you know, like that, it is disappointing, and you know, we've got to learn from it because I certainly didn't feel they were going to breach us at all in open play. So you know, everyone's very happy with the point and everyone's proud of the efforts, but I think there's a slight bit of disappointment as well.
In terms of the squad today, no Josh Vickers, what's the situation with him?
Yeah, Josh took an injury in training a couple of days ago, so he's going to be missing for 2 or 3 weeks.
In terms of the group itself, how pleased are you that they're putting this effort in, that they are getting their rewards, I guess, in terms of where they are in the table at this moment in time, because you've seen great progression over the course of the season? Yeah,
100%, but it started last year. You know, the seeds were sown last year, and you know, every day we come in, the lads roll their sleeves up, they're ready to train. You know, whoever it is, commitment is there every day. The coaches are coaching really well with the group, and home and away the lads are ready. You can see the lads coming in today were ready. They're a match ready to go, and win, lose or draw, as long as we've got that effort that we showed today, that's what I'm very proud of. And we're here to build over the next 2 or 3 seasons, and we're laying good foundations to do that. And I'm really proud of the whole football club today.
It's 23 games into the season now. You're at the halfway stage. Are you satisfied, or are you somebody that's always wanting more? I would imagine that you are.
Yeah, of course we are, but we have to be realistic as well. We've had lots of ups and downs already this season, a lot of setbacks, and the way we've come back from it has been really pleasing. So it's important that we can see progression. I'm really proud of the players' efforts, the fans, the staff are working so hard day in, day out to making sure that we have the right environment to train and come into every day. And, there's lots more to come, but the most important thing is for them highs and the lows, we all stick together and realise this is a long process, not a short process.
What are you looking for in the second half of the season then from your group? Just a continuation of what you've seen so far? Yeah,
just to keep building. For them setbacks, how do we adapt? How do we adjust? How do we get points? It's important that the group don't get too disappointed with the lows and stay, level-headed, which I know they will. And we want to make Derby County a fantastic football club again that's pushing in the right end of the championship and pushing for promotion. Of course we do, but as I've said, it's going to take time. But I think we're showing great signs of moving forward, and hopefully this second half of the season we can continue them signs and keep working hard.
Second half of the season starts at Leicester on Monday night. You played them recently. Do you take too much from that, or is it a case of completely different game now?
Yeah, completely different game now, away from home again. It's important the boys get their rest, recoup, and we'll have a game plan. Of course we will, and we'll have to see who's fit and available first and foremost. But it's another fantastic game. We're going to have another full sellout away support. So hopefully we can do them proud.
How difficult is it at this period when it's game, 2 days, game, 2 days, game? It doesn't give you enough time on the training ground, does it? And I can put my teeth back in after that.
No, listen, it's fine, but the way we work, the lads know their jobs inside out, so we'll adapt, we'll be ready, and hopefully we can have a positive performance.
That's the Derby boss, John Eustace, with his reaction to today's game. You'll hear from Callum Elder in a few moments as well. Some big incidents to talk about at Barks. Let's start with the opening goal, Derby's goal, taken very well by Patrick Agyemang, who looks more and more at home in the Championship to me.
He does. He's just a real handful. I don't think he's a player that you know exactly what you're going to get from him, but you know that he's a threat. You know that he's got pace and power, and he certainly took this goal well. We'd mentioned just a few moments before, it felt like Birmingham would have a lot of the ball, they'd build nicely through the pitch, but Derby would counter them with real pace and purpose. And great ball from Ward, wonderful run from Brewster. I love the fact he changed his stride pattern just to slow down and lift it over for Agyemang. And it's a harder finish than you think. I know he's 1v1 with the keeper, but it takes a little bit of time for the ball to reach him, finds the inside of the post, and brilliant finish from the big man. And
I suppose we'll never really know how the game would have played out with Derby that 1-goal lead, 11 against 11, because you just mentioned earlier Birmingham had a lot of the ball and threatened without troubling Derby too much. But Derby have Joe Ward sent off before the break, and that changes everything. Any complaints about either of the yellow cards?
No, the first one is a little strange. I understand he's trying to slow things down. There's different ways of doing it. He could have picked the ball up, start jogging off and throw it back like we see many players do. I don't think Birmingham were particularly too quick to try and get the ball and play. So, and I mentioned it on comms, as soon as you're a wing back that has a booking, you're always on a tightrope, and things like this happen. So on the counter, we know that Roberts wants to cut inside on his left foot, so Ward has to probably recognise that and slow down just before. I don't think there was loads of contact, but as soon as he goes down, the referee is going to give the free kick. If he gives the free kick, it's a booking all day long. So wasn't surprised. I think it was the right call, just a little bit silly from Ward, and ultimately he's got himself in a really good position. He's been outstanding the last few months since he's been in there, and now he's going to miss a game.
Derby still excellent with 10 men. Ebo Adams comes on, very effective. Curtis Nelson on and was impeccable as well. You're frustrated about the goal. I know there's some controversy about it. Maybe it's bundled in off the arm of Robinson, but the referee's never going to see that in real time. But you don't think we should be really talking about that part of it?
No, I just don't quite understand the setup, if I'm being honest. Whether they normally play short, you look at 4 players, I think, having to deal with Stansted in the middle of the pitch. You allow the centre-half, his dominant centre-half, to go and head it. Behind him is Kumas, who's completely unmarked. So you're pretty much saying put it towards the far post. If the ball comes in with decent delivery, as it does, Langas is the closest to it, but the centre-half has momentum to go and challenge for that ball. Now, after that moment, it was scruffy. It came off his arm, landed on the floor. We were the lesser of the aggressive of the two. It went through Zetterstrom and ended up going over the line. So a really poor goal to concede. Again, another set piece. There's been a few that we've conceded that we shouldn't do. And ultimately, a set piece has let us down because I agree with John, there wasn't too many clear-cut opportunities in open play when you're 11 v the 10 because you're a man down. So a set piece and the setup not being right, whether that's the way they wanted to do it or whether the players just weren't doing their jobs at that point, those key details have caught us out a few times this season, and it has to be rectified in the second half of the season.
The game got pretty feisty as things went on, a couple of flashpoints, and after maybe getting away with one earlier in the game, a second yellow, Christoph Clara eventually is sent off. Straight red card. I mean, whether it's a straight red or a second yellow card, this is ultimately the right decision for the challenger, Lebo Adams.
Yeah, exactly that. You can't go with your foot that high up in the air. There was a case on the halfway line when he brought Adjumang down where if Adjumang had got some space ahead of him, he would have been in a 1v1. So he got away with that. And as soon as it goes down the line and you stick a boot up that high, you always run the risk of a red card, and the referee made that call straight away. It's probably a little bit of a shame that didn't happen 10 minutes earlier because it would have been a really interesting end to the game at 10v10, more space on the pitch, more opportunities to catch the opposition out. But ultimately, there was incident, there was goals, there was a lovely bit of fight and desire. Again, I'm going to mention Bart, who I thought was superb. The context of coming into a game out the blue and putting in that sort of performance, and the substitutes at half-time were excellent. I thought Lebo Adams ran around, did the dirty stuff really well. Curtis Nelson was a man mountain at the back as well. So, in all, when you were talking about it, when you're listening to me talk, there's so many positives from that performance.
Derby have now reached the halfway point of the season, 12th in the table as it stands. That may well change with the vast majority of the Boxing Day games underway at the moment. And we will sort of do a more of a deep dive ahead of the Leicester game on Monday night. But at the midway point, Derby 12th-ish in the table. Surely everyone should be happy with that, no?
Yes and no. I think you can look at it both ways. Really steady first half of the season. Again, every game we've been competitive. Nobody's brushed us aside. Set pieces need to improve, and if you think of the games where the set pieces we've conceded have cost us, that certainly needs to improve in the second half of the season. And I just want a little bit more at Pride Park. I think the away performances typify this group. Out of possession, excellent. Catching teams on the counter, as we saw again today, superb, and getting results away from home. So you have to make Pride Park that little bit more special. When teams come to Pride Park, they need to know they're in for a real fight, and a little bit more detail in possession, a little bit more confidence at Pride Park, and we could see us going from a 12th position to really competing towards the top.
Let's get some more reaction from St Andrews. We can hear from Callum Elder.
Yeah, I mean, lads are disappointed in there, you know. It really feels like 2 points dropped. I thought we've shown great character throughout the game. We had to weather a bit of a storm at the start. We knew it was going to be a fiery atmosphere, Boxing Day game for Birmingham, so we were well aware. We caught them on the break for the goal, and terrific worked goal. We knew we could get in behind them, and good finish by Patrick. And to a man, I thought we defended really well second half. We caught a good shape, kept a good shape, sorry. So yeah, we're a lot of positives to take from the game. Really happy with how we stuck to our task in the second half, and you know, to see through with a point, it gives us a good lead into the next game.
You go a man down and the group has to come together. What was the thinking as a group there going into the break?
You know, I think that's the standards we set in that changing room. You know, through adversity, we'll always stick together. It's unfortunate for Wardy, you know, on his second yellow, brings him down. But we regroup at half-time, we make a couple of changes, we change a bit of our shape. And I thought we executed that really well in the second half. Really disappointing to concede off a set piece. We've got to be stronger dealing with the first phase. But, you know, we didn't let it affect us. We carried on through into the second half, and you know, I thought we showed good leadership throughout the squad, and we take a point moving into Leicester.
Yeah, does it feel like something you can really take momentum from, because it is such a battle and it is such a fight, that you can take pride from that when you go to Leicester?
Yeah, I think over the course of the season you're going to have moments of adversity, and it's about leadership and character and standing tall when things like that happen, and I thought we've shown that in abundance today, especially in the second half. You know, lads coming in, Danny, Nels haven't played a lot of football, and Man Mountain's at the back. So, you know, it's going to take everyone over these next 3 games in such a short space of time, and, you know, we look forward to them. We want to attack the league moving into the new year, and we're excited about the game.
Leicester, a team that you've already faced this month, so you know the challenge they'll pose. How are you looking ahead to that one?
Yeah, we know we want to show a response from the home game we played against them. We weren't good enough in the first 45 minutes against them, so, you know, we'll look to get on the front foot against them. And you know, we'll show good character that we had to show. We're going to have to show it away from home, and, you know, we're excited for the game.
That's Derby defender Callum Elder. Let's take a quick look at the Championship table. This was accurate ahead of the 3 o'clock games getting underway, so you can see Derby climbing a place from where they started the day. 32 points from their opening half of the season is not a bad return at all. Coventry with the big lead at the top, Middlesbrough second. They are the sides in control as we reach the halfway point. Ipswich climbing to third as well. The bottom end, Sheffield Wednesday are effectively relegated already. Oxford and Norwich starting the day alongside them in the bottom 3. There is a bit of a gap between Portsmouth and Blackburn and Swansea just above them. That's all from us for now. If you want more reaction to today's game, it'll be on the website, dcfc.co.uk. We'll be back Monday for the trip to Leicester. Do join us for that if you can. For now, enjoy the rest of your Boxing Day from me, Barks, and the team. Merry Christmas. Goodbye.